All right, everyone, welcome back. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to just watch my little video. And again, check out my website here, danceofthecosmos.com. Again, my name is Dan Hendricks, and we are going to continue our series of exploring the nature of the planets by looking at the qualities of the nakshatras that are related to that planet, so that we can further understand more about what the energy of that planet represents. So today we are talking about Rahu. Ooh, Rahu. Anyway, so why don't let's look at what we have here about the nakshatras of Rahu. So first we have the nakshatra of Ardra, which the meaning of Ardra is moist. I've also seen Ardra is like related to like a raindrop. And then we'll see here, the deity of Ardra is Rudra, god of storm. Well, Rudra, this deity, he is related to storms, but he's related to he's also related to Shiva a lot. Like the names Shiva and Rudra are kind of one and the same. But Rudra is really about I think it's translated as the roarer, like roar, like the roar, like it's fierce. It's a very it's known as a terrifying deity. And so it represents it has an intensity about how it goes about things. And Rudra is also known to carry arrows, very fast moving arrows. He carries a bow and very fast moving arrows. And he's also related to hunting and going after things. And then we're going to see when we get into this Shakti power down here, and especially into the basis above and basis below. So first and foremost, what Ardra represents, the Shakti power, the energetic field of this nakshatra of Ardra is the Shakti power is effort. So it's effort, and the result of this effort that Ardra is taking us to, it brings about achievement. So it's the effort to get what it is that we're trying to get, but we're going to have the energy to put in this effort. Now, the basis above, on one hand, is hunting or searching. Basis below is reaching a goal. So hunting or searching, this is very tied into what we were talking about with Rudra, with the bow and arrow. So it's about hunting and searching and reaching the goal. So you'll see like effort on one hand and hunting and searching. And then the effort that brings about achievement is very akin to reaching the goal, hunting or searching to reach the goal. So it's about doing whatever it takes. And the reason why whatever it takes is, you'll see here, the nature is sharp, hot, or also known as horrible, which this is a very intense energy of, I am going after this thing. I don't care what it takes. I will destroy whatever is in my path to get what it is that I need. So we can see that Ardra is going to confer that to Rahu of just like bringing on the storm, and to get to what it is that we want to go to, a very driven nakshatra. And now we come and we see that we come to Swati. Swati is translated as sword. So a sword is something that slices and cuts. It's a weapon. And then we can see that the deity of Swati is Vayu. Well, Vayu is the deity of winds. Vayu is the father of Bhimsha, I believe, in the Mahabharata. And it's also the spiritual father of Hanuman, because Hanuman is supposed to be the Lord of the Winds as well. And so Vayu is represented to the winds. But Vayu also, in the body, we talk about the 5 Vayus in Ayurveda, especially with the 5 sub-doshas of Vata dosha. We have the 5 Vayus, which is Prana, Apana, Udana, Samana, and Vyana. And these are and then even in the Upanishads, I think it's the Chandogya Upanishad, there's a story where it talks about like each of the deities. Like there's a deity that rules sight, and he talks about how when that deity leaves the person's body or whatever, the person loses their faculty of sight, but the person keeps living, and when he comes back, they regain their sight. This goes on and so forth through the various other deities regulating different senses or parts of the body. And then finally, and every time one of these deity leaves the body, the person can still exist. And then when Vayu goes to leave the body, then all the other deities start leaving too, and life starts leaving the body. So Vayu definitely has something to do with life. It has to do with it's an energizing force that brings forth life itself. But it is related to wind also. Which can be physical winds in our atmosphere, which are just blowing around, which is what charge us. But wind is something that's a very scattered energy, right? Like you can feel wind because of maybe there's a building in the way, and the wind right here is very strong. You go on the other side of that building, there's like a little tempest that starts flowing or something, because the wind itself can get easily diffused. And the reason why I bring up that nature of the wind, when we look at the Shakti power of Swati, the energetic field of energy that the Shakti, that this Nakshatra represents, this Shakti, this power is to scatter like the wind. And like I said, the wind goes about in all sorts of different directions, different speeds. It's variable, basically. And when I say variable, I'm just going to jump down here. The nature of this nakshatra is it's a movable nakshatra. It is very variable. It's able to change. But now let's go back up here. The result of this Shakti power of Swati is transformation. It's scattering like the wind because it's going to assume a new form. It's able to go in whatever direction it needs to go. And that's really what the power of Swati is all about, is just scattering itself out, just to kind of like a shotgun blast in a way, but a little bit more broader than a shotgun blast. But like a difference between like a shotgun, say like your average shotgun, which has like buckshot or something like that, is that you can aim it at something and it's got, like this wide of a target area, right? Whereas a bullet is just this tiny little thing right here that's, it has to be very precise. Shotgun is very much not precise. And that's kind of what Swati is more about, which is like trying many different directions, doing many different things, because the goal of Swati is transformation. And then again, even more, this is really even getting into furthering this discussion here. We talk about the basis above and the basis below. So on the one hand, it's about moving in various directions, and the basis below, on the other hand, is change of form, right? So it's in moving in various directions with the goal of changing form. So you can see we've got transformation, change of form, scatter like the wind, moving in various directions. The sword, Swati, the sword. It's the deity Vayu, the lord of the winds. Its nature movable. So this tells us that Rahu is going to go in all types. This is going to give Rahu the energy of going in all types of different directions to become what it is that it needs to go in. And again, it's going to scatter. It's going to move in various directions. It's movable because it's trying to become something new, wants to become something new, which we're talking about transforming. What we're going to see here, if we go back to Ardra, we'll see this. It's effort to bring about achievement. It's hunting or searching, reaching the goal. So here it's about reaching the goal. Here it's about transforming. You can see it's about an effort, about doing something. Whereas Ardra is a little bit more intense and focused. Whereas Swati then shows that Rahu also has the nature to just spread out in multifarious directions to not just to get what he wants, but to transform, to become something new. Now, we'll see here we have Shatabishak, which means 100 doctors. And at first, when I first heard of this, I was like, wow, Shatabishak, that's awesome. 100 doctors. That what a great idea. And then what's funny is I also had the thought of, how would I feel if I went and saw 100 doctors? I would be overwhelmed. I mean, you would get so many opinions, right? I mean, you'd eventually get the right opinion. I would hope, but you'd probably have to weigh it upon like what all 100 doctors told you. Plus, if you're trying to get healed, like let's say you have a broken arm, you don't want 100 doctors, you just want one. So that's kind of interesting, especially when thinking about the scatter like the wind in the Swati Nakshatra and thinking about just the nature of Rahu. I kind of think that this kind of makes me think about Shatabishak. 100 doctors at first I thought had a lot to do with healing. And it does, because this Nakshatra it does have to do with healing. It says right here, the Shakti power, and we'll get to that. But I just thought that was interesting. 100 doctors. Who would want 100 doctors? How is that better than just having one doctor? It's better because you get more opinions, but at the same time, it takes more time. If you need something done right, 100 doctors doesn't help you if you need help now. Because how many doctors can actually physically work on you? 2, 3, maybe. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. It could also be a good thing. 100 doctors could also be a very good thing, because we were talking about Varuna. Varuna is a very interesting deity. So in early Rig Veda mentionings of Varuna, Varuna is known as like the not just the god of water, but he's kind of like, he's omniscient, he's omnipresent, he's a very important deity. And then there's this thing that happens where Indra takes over, because this other kind of malefic deity, I can't remember exactly what the story is here, but he takes something away, and it kind of takes away Varuna's power afterwards. Varuna's never looked at the same, because Indra comes in, saves the day, he becomes like kind of like the champion of the gods at that time, and Varuna goes from being like this guardian of the celestial, of everything almost, to just like ruling like waters, like oceans and rivers and everything. But also Varuna is also, what's interesting is Varuna was the like the guru of the Asuras. But this was before the Asuras. This is when the Asuras were still like godlike. This is when they were still like they weren't so much associated more with like demonic forces. This is when they were still somewhat in a higher context, basically, and Varuna was their guru. So Varuna is a very powerful deity, and then Varuna also has to do with like it's like an upholder of law also, and he's also kind of related to Yama also, because Varuna is said to be like a guardian of the western direction, and the western direction represents like the sunset, where the sun is leaving, right? So that's always, sunset has like a connotation to go along with things leaving this world, so he has an association of death, and that's kind of where he also gets that association of being like a ruler of like same thing with like the ruler of law, to keep someone like more morally, keep them about, to punish them if you stray away from your moral compass, basically. Now, so with that being said, let's also look at, so back to the Shakti power of Shatabishak. This energetic field, this Shakti energy, this power of Shatabishak is healing, which is making things better, taking something that's already broken and making it better, right? It's about healing, it's about fixing things. And the result of this healing is the world is freed of calamity. And I think this is very, very, very important to take the time to really link these two together, because it's the healing, the fixing of something that isn't working, where the result of the fixing of this is the world, a greater picture, not just a person, a greater system is freed of calamity, right? So this is like fixing a bigger situation. And I think that's really what the 100 doctors is referring to, is if you have 100 doctors, you can help 100 people. You can help 200 people, 300 people, 1,000 people. And Varuna being the god of waters, I would assume now, with everything I said about Varuna, it's about that he encompasses a larger portion. It's about having a bigger vision. And then we will see that, and then we can see that this is also tied together when we see the basis above is pervasion overall, and on the other hand, the basis below is the support of all. So not only is, so Varuna here is like omnipotent, right? Ruling over everything. But at the same time, it's supporting everything. And again, just like with Swati, this other nakshatra of Rahu is movable. So this whole idea of healing is it's really about a nakshatra of using your resources to make improvements, to make everything better. Because I mean, pervasion overall also and support of all is it's like, okay, this is what's going on. I see the situation for what it is, but I'm going to help to support it. I'm going to work at it. So what can we know about Rahu through these nakshatras? You know, I've kind of already talked about this, so let's kind of summarize here. So with Ardra, this shows that Rahu has the ability to really take action, to take and to sharp, hot, horrible, right? To just like, and we know that Rudra can be known as like a fierce or a terrible deity. You know, the deity of storms and lightning and thunder and, you know, wind and rain just blowing down, because it's about getting what it is that we want to achieve. So Rahu has that ability of just like, I'm going to charge forward. I'm going to get what it is that I am going. I'm going to hunt. I'm going to search. Which hunting or searching, there's something interesting about hunting or searching, and something about a storm. As a storm is a kind of a dark thing, right? The sun blocks out, or I'm sorry, the storm blocks out the light, right? And the rain kind of obscures the vision. So there's this hunting or searching, which if you're hunting for something or you're searching for something, that means you don't know what it is that you're searching for. So there's, Ardra brings this idea of darkness, but this idea of just moving through the darkness to get what it is that we want in whatever fashion that is needed to get there. And that is very, very much a great description of Rahu. And when we go through Rahu Dasha, I think a lot of us can attain to that, of not knowing where we're at, where we're going, but we're going somewhere and we're going to get to it. And then Swati further is like a furthering of Ardra in a way, because what Swati is the wind. So before, where it was like a storm and it was darkness, and you know, Rudra with his bow and arrow, you know, hunting, going after what it is that, and searching for what he wants. Well, Swati is the opposite. Well, not the opposite, but it's like a different level of Rahu, where it's going to show that Rahu represents the energy of going anywhere. I'm just going to change my way if I have to, because I want to find this better form of myself. I want to transform into this bigger thing. I want to become this something greater. I want to become something different. You know, I want to transform, which transformation has a certain connotation with evolution, right? And so, and scattering like the wind, moving in various directions. It's like in the Rahu, and again, we're in Rahu Dasha. What are we going to do? We're going to go this way, and then, oh, well, that didn't work. Well, I'm going to go this way. Not a big deal. Didn't work. I'm going to try this. Like, Rahu is a very extroverting force, and we can see that Ardra and Swati really help us to understand what it is that Rahu is really trying to do. You know, he's trying to get at what he wants, because Rahu is about our desires. And that's what this effort brings about, achievement. And then how are we going to go about that? Well, we're going to move. We're going to change our form. We're going to do anything that we have to do. We are going to adapt to new situations, and we're going to try all these different various directions. Where, I mean, this show, Ardra shows how we can be intense going in one direction, and then Swati shows that we can be intense going in one direction, but then we can quickly change, come over here, and it shows that Rahu represents that energy. And then Shatabishak is really, what's interesting is it's about pervasion overall. It's about Varuna. It's about seeing things and trying to help the world, right? It's about knowing that there's something wrong. Because like with hunting and searching, when I talk about how it's like we don't know where something is, it's a place of, whenever you're hunting for something, part of the fun of a hunt, I'm not a hunter, but from what I understand, part of the fun of the hunt is that you might not succeed, that you don't know where it is that your prey is, where your goal is. It's somewhere not there. And then healing implies that something is broken and needs to be fixed. So Shatabishak is realizing that there's just an inherent nature of things that need to be fixed. Because, I mean, we're talking about 100 doctors is the name of Shatabishak. We're talking about healing, freeing the world of calamity, which the world freed of calamity assumes that the world is full of calamity to begin with. So it's about like bringing organization into the chaos that is inherent in life, like, and realizing that there's a bigger connection to that and bringing it all together. Because we'll see that here with pervasion overall and support of all. So we'll see that Rahu then also has a certain ability to want to make the situation better, to know that things need to be fixed and we need to get something better. Because Rahu represents like our dark impulses and desires and things that we want. But typically, so what this shows is those things that we want are something to make us a better person or to make a better situation. Because what we know about Rahu and Ketu, whereas Ketu represents a certain aspect or area of our life that we had a certain imbalance with in the past, and Rahu represents the area that's foreign to us, that we need to, that's dark to us, that's new to us this lifetime. And the reason why we're getting involved with Rahu is to bring balance to Ketu. And that's kind of what Shatabishak is helping to show us, is that what Rahu's getting us involved in, all of this darkness, all of this stuff is to fix this karmic situation, to balance this karmic situation that Ketu is in. And the 100 doctors, I think, is related a lot to like Swati, like scattering like the wind. Like we have 100 doctors now. We're going to go and find 100 different ways that we can to fix the situation, to fix everything and to make this world now a better place. So anyways, so this is, I love this. I'm having a lot of fun doing this series of videos, and I hope this helps you further define your understanding of what Rahu can indicate in a birth chart. And thank you for watching, and namaste.